Then let's do 1 or 2 runs with Hunter's Moon. With maybe the last 2 characters which I didn't play yesterday. But which one first? The Minotaur or the Zwerg? Let's do Jericho first. Maybe Tarot in the dogs. Crab loadout. Bows are good. Conductor whistle. It's not too bad. One cost. Get a random rare
If a group of
card.
rats is called a mischief, then this is a disaster. The vermin are banding together by the dozen, and not content with their usual haunts, have been spilling out into the streets. The safety, to say nothing of the patience, of ordinary citizens is at risk.
Oh, that's a long one. Begin with a lead battle. Aberrant. Pretty useless. Ability point. Wasn't too bad. Epic. And get Berserk immediately the card. Heals 3 vigor. And we heal. And bonk you to death. Anger. Zero cost cards are always nice. Counter. Consumable. Everyone attacks me. Watch. Deal 28 damage. Apply weakness.
You take a break from scourging rats to watch a young girl tossing a brightly coloured ball in the air, until it slips from her grasp and rolls down a dark, perfectly round hole of the exact diameter to swallow it. She begins to wail.
Lose 5 sanity for random relic. One unknown result. The
You reach
relic.
cautiously into the hole and grope around. It's oddly deep, and you find you're sunk into the shoulder and still haven't found the ball. As you're withdrawing your arm, something seizes you by the wrist and yanks. You wrestle yourself free and find something, but not a ball.
Healing is always nice.
A Roma woman sits cross-legged before a small campfire along the roadside. Though she is old, her eyes...
Now this we will skip. $24 damage. Like burn. Oh, this is a nice one. So is you. But get aggressor, even if it's a lower rarity. Three. Restore. Double strike. Discard.
You find a small
We
room at the edge of a worker's dormitory.
we
The door is
don't need
padlocked, but the window
salvage.
stands conveniently ajar.
Get a random relic. I don't think you're the rats. Apple. Now we like more option.
You find a pile of discarded machine parts, gears, and other metal junk. Some of these bits could perhaps be put to use on the Starling.
Got 2 cards. Card draw.
The reek of alcohol and tobacco floods your nostrils as you enter a pub filled with seedy wanderers. As you take a seat at the bar, the portly and bug-eyed landlord sets a jug on the bar top. "This one's stout, so it's on the ass," he says. You force yourself to drink, even as the musty contents burn your throat and gut.
Sanity or nerve. This would be nice. Kick you out and begin with more.
Now that their numbers have been sufficiently culled, the remaining rodents return to their filthy habits. London shall never be entirely free of them, but the problem has been throttled for the time being.
I restore health and get bonus. Summon a friend. Oh, there's blood trunk.
A singer at the Palladium is said to be so alluring that some men have never returned from her performance. Apparently, many have disappeared entirely. Head to the Palladium and see what you can uncover.
Probably not much.
The sharp silhouette of Gothic towers against the night sky leads you to an old boys' school. Whatever students are taking...
Back in a relic. Equation. Is the best option here.
The floorboards creak with every step inside the chapel, once a sanctuary to the Lord's messengers and those seeking his blessings. A broad plank bridges a hole between the pews. Upon it, the body of a priest, his arms dangling down over the gap. 2 small bags are tied to his wrists.
I will take the left string for money.
Wrist, and the body starts to shift to its right. You tear the bag from its wrist and leap back. The planks splinter apart, and the body drops into the darkness with a terrific crash. You push down your terror and inspect.
But I don't think he needs money
A
anymore.
Roma woman sits cross-legged before a small campfire.
Oh no, we do want to earn more money.
You find a small room at the
Can I random? pretty useless.
A tall figure in a too long coat leans against the wall, grinning with a mouth of filed teeth. Heads or tails. He flips the coin. It gleams briefly in the moonlight before he catches it in his clawed hand. Heads, he says with a hint of disappointment.
Now the merchant is cheaper.
At the end of a labyrinthine tangle of dark,
Oh, you would attack me. Whirlwind. Oh, this is nice. 2 strengths now. We do the elite fight and go then to the merchant. Do I have the... Did not take it. We will change you against... Oh, this gives us strengths. Now we can poison the enemy.
you buy a ticket and take your seat for the performance. By intermission, you see that several men have been hypnotized, and the staff begin to drag their bodies backstage. Lord knows what fate shall befall them if you don't put a stop to this eerie show.
Maybe I check the organizer.
Dragging a body. He drops his prize, but soon enough, you're surrounded by thugs and pushed outside. Fighting them all at once is your only option now.
One, 2, 5. Exhaust card back to my hand.
Nobody's going to get lulled to sleep and become fodder for the professor's experiments.
Store. Get a random card. Finishing blow.
something gathers in the deep and reeking tunnels between London sewers and the Thames. The rats have taken to mobbing workers and toshes alike, almost as if organising themselves to drive man from their domain. Find out what's behind this bizarre behaviour and put an end to it.
Level 2.
The timbers creak, freshly broken. Something massive passed through here and dragged itself from the river on its way to the street. You find a trail of luminous slime still steaming in the cold. Its gelatinous mass is riddled with tiny, blinking eyes.
Only some useless stuff.
At the end of a labyrinthine tangle of dark,
Storage shit.
you find a small room at the edge of a...
Grease the cards. Nice elite. Useless. Compass. Or tactics, maybe. Merchant, we wait.
You find a pile of discarded machine parts, gears, and other...
Another blood trunk. We can upgrade a random card. Anger. Headshot. Oh, this is nice. From 2 to 1 cost down. Weakness.
The air above the street ripples like heat haze, though the night is bitter cold. Shapes swim in the distance, impossibly vast. You draw closer to the shimmer.
Battle. Only you. Oh. Wind up.
The sharp silhouette of Gothic towers against the night
Great.
sky leads you to an
No.
old boys' school.
More energy. Against
Descending a stair below
direction.
the street, you're soon navigating a maze of reeking tunnels and culverts, always seeking the highest concentration of vermin. These rodents are bold indeed, but not so bold as to challenge a flaming torch. As you approach the entrance to some kind of hall, their squeaking is hushed. A quick glance around the corner reveals a writhing heap of rats, bundled into a tattered trenchcoat, holding court over a handful of cloaked figures and what seems like 1,000 rats. This king of rats is communicating with one of its servants, a robed figure with the tail of a rat who waxes stridently about a bright future where rats will be accepted as the equal of human beings, just as the Cyclopes and Minotaurs of England have agitated for their rights. During an auspicious pause in this harangue, you step forward to remind the human cultists that they already enjoy these same rights. About half of them head for the door, and the Rat King cries out in violent frustration.
3 rats in a trench coat. Strength, anger. Seeing a rat. Heal up it. Oh, he has. Oh, he just killed himself. Maybe berserk. Done.
With the Rat King defeated, his rodents and human followers begin to tear each other apart. You hasten away from the rending and shrieking of the doomed, and hope there's enough water in the Thames to wash them all away.
Yeah, the same which I picked now can go.
Known anarchist and werewolf leader Slavenko has been running amok and inciting his comrades along with him. The fellow was already dangerous, but now the Chaos Moon has seemingly driven him to insanity. He must be stopped.
That's why we're here.
At the end of a labyrinthine, a Roma woman sits cross-legged before a small...
That is pretty useless when we don't have consumable. Apply weakness to all. Now against
Anarchist
Slavenko.
lycanthrope leaves a swathe of shattered windows, kicked-in doors, and general mayhem in his wake, including a few hapless citizens not quick enough to flee from his path. Eventually, you track him to the docks. There, amidst the creaking of rope and clinking of chain, Slavenko and one of his furry comrades seem to be arguing, the latter having soured on their enterprise. Before you
Reasons.
can do more than address him, Slavenko leaps up and pivots in the air to land before you with a snort of carrion stinking breath. Though high overhead, the moon's reflection glows out from his eyes. Whatever reason this beast possessed has long since fled.
And let's put an end to him. Just so like and put you in my hand. Anger. Fortitude. Trauma.
Slavenko is dead, and with him his dastardly plot against the Empire. His fellow werewolves and co-conspirators, however, still flock together in the shadows, their grudge against Queen and country only strengthened by this defeat.
And it's only Chris Ward. And he does the dust and flesh and steel mission. Blind is nice. Of course, cumulative attack is what we need here.
That one Sir Alfred Wallace is
Boss battle. Draw one card. Red. Restore. Get another one.
the reek of alcohol and tobacco floods your nostrils as you enter a pub filled with seedy wanderers. As you take a seat at the bar, the landlord sets a jug.
Yeah, pretty useless. Encounter. Let's go to the tarot shop. One HP to one attack power to short. We have vulnerability, yes. Block.
A Roma woman sits cross-legged before a small campfire along the roadside.
Replace all. No longer able to heal. Just don't get hit. Draw one card for ally we have.
The sharp silhouette of Gothic towers against the...
In a relic. With travel cards shown. Shop event. Loss of round.
The chimney stacks above belch not just smoke, but a black, clinging ash. You brush the soot aside.
burns. 0 cost. Glasses would have been nice too.
You notice Sir Wallace at the very end of the street in front of the station. He's nervously tapping his feet and trying to seem inconspicuous. You approach from the other side and trap his escape. After a threatening line of questioning, you get him to talk. I ensured the professor was well furnished for his experiment, but the equipment was supplied by someone with far more resources than I. We only communicated by telegram, but they referred to their organization as Eclipse. Cross my heart, that's everything I know. I only wish to cut ties and retreat to the countryside where I won't be in danger.
Make you free.
Sir Wallace is relieved to be on his way to Clerkenwell and beyond the professor's clutches. As the train leaves the station, you find yourself pondering the professor's true designs against the heart of the Empire.
Lock. Gain a card. It's done. Here we can upgrade. And it's character based.
A mob of angry workers is throwing stones at a man outside a burning factory. As you approach, you mark the copper piping and mechanisms that have somehow given him life. The crowd disperses, and the creature tells you he has no memory of his past, only of the man who gave him this new life, the Professor.
I need to flee the city, or he'll kill me.
Then we help the poor
His appearance
creature.
is horrifying, but you see kindness in his eyes.
If you can help me get to the river, I'll leave by boat. The trains are too conspicuous.
As the angry mob rallies towards you, you don't think the streets will be much safer.
Now we have a friend. Okay. Oh, I almost forgot about my ability. Exhaust is always good to have.
A massive hound sits beneath a lamppost, coat bristled, muzzle slick with something dark. Its eyes reflect silver as it regards your approach.
Approach
The hound
carefully.
growls, then drops something covered in slobber at your feet. He stands and plods off into the night.
That's nice dog. Energy +1 even. Pretty good.
At the end of a labyrinthine tangle of dark alleys, you find a public house. A rosy-cheeked fellow stumbles out and tips his...
Elite boss fight. Get the correct pocket watch. name of gods. Move all debuffed.
You find a small storeroom at the edge of a worker's dormitory. You and your companion come across a chessboard in the park, with the pieces on their starting squares. You decide to play a match as a respite from the difficulties of the night. As the opening turns into the middle game, your companion begins to ruminate.
I cannot hope to live longer than a few months. My organs, in their revived state, will eventually fail, and I will expire. I cannot know how this will all turn out for London, but if I can, I hope to see the countryside once again. I cannot stay much longer in this cesspool of violence and spiritual decay.
With that, you capture his kingside bishop with your knight, opening a file for your rook, and set up a checkmate.
View card option.
A Roma woman is cross-legged before a small campfire along.
We cannot heal either way.
You find a pile of discarded machine parts, gears, and other.
Summon Hugo.
You reach the end of the street and hear the running water of a nearby river. If he takes a boat downstream to the Thames, he may be able to leave the city safely. He looks to you with uncertainty.
Wish him
You give him
peace.
encouragement, hoping that he finds a quiet place to contemplate his remaining time here. You are glad for his company and learn from him in some strange way.
Not bad. More defense.
Discovering an abandoned narrowboat along the River Lee, you send the wretched fellow on his way.
You've shown great kindness that I shan't soon forget. I can manage on my own now, but I shall never know real peace until the Professor is stopped.
Mental health. 50% chance. Overdrive is good. He will immediately upgrade.
You receive an urgent letter from a gentleman named Alphonse. I humbly request the presence of Her Majesty's finest to investigate troublesome reports of a spreading disease. Please come to Kenwood Manor, observing the utmost discretion. It's sealed with a wax insignia resembling a coin.
The Howling Twins. Of course he blocks. Was done. Or enemies. Overlord.
You find a small storeroom at the edge of a worker.
Block. Especially good if we cannot heal.
A group of workers have gathered to support the Red Pack. They're chanting, "Free the wage slaves," and hoisting painted signs. However, some are simply cursing in a disorganized manner. And as their voices rise, you see that their canines are longer than they should be, glistening in the moonlight. Something tells you this protest may indeed become violent.
Leave.
A broken machine lies twitching against a soot-stained wall, gears still clicking faintly. You
Examine
pry
it.
open its chestplate. Inside is a growing coil of etheric energy, humming with artificial life. You notice it has been dislodged and set it right. The creature bursts to life, clanking with an appreciative tone.
Consumable.
At the end of a labyrinthine tangle of
Aesthetic. Merchant. We'll get the merchant first. Aesthetic. Consumable slot.
the sharp silhouette of Gothic towers against...
No.
You are welcomed into an austere manor by a man named Alphonse.
Thank you for coming. I lead the Silver Coin, a werewolf preservation society. The Howling Twins are besmirching the name of decorous werewolves. We cannot coexist with the citizens of London when so many of our kind are attacking recklessly. You must stop the Howling Twins so that societies like mine can continue our work.
Agreed
You
to
point out
help.
that werewolves, when properly self-regulated, deserve the same rights as any species. You will attempt to restore honor to the Silver Coin by eliminating the Howling Twins and any other Vukushin you come across who cannot control their violent urges. Alphonse's eyes brighten.
Thank you, citizen. Your efforts shall not go unnoticed. In fact, please accept this payment in advance.
I will take it gladly.
Reaching the Howling Twins, you're shocked to see that they don't attack you first. Instead, they contort their wolven maws to communicate.
Look at this groveling, soot-happy dollymop. The excesses of industry will never silence us. Without proud leaders like Slavenko, the populace will remain without the means to capital, wage slaves for the factories and labour camps the government calls offices.
You
Akio.
respond, arguing that capitalism is at least democratic, while anarchy and revolution are doomed to fail. The twins howl in disagreement as they abandon any pretext of civility.
Continue. Can it get more upgraded?
As the cursed twins slump to their knees in defeat, they release a final harrowing howl that tapers into stillness. Their bodies remain lupine, masking their human identities in death. They threaten the streets of London no more.
Luna Mask. Reboot. And this down to 2 costs.
Rumour has it that a certain Professor Vane has been less than ethical in his experiments lately. Experiments that have been let loose to torment the residents of Shoreditch. His lab can be found in a disused factory.
We don't have a boss battle anymore.
At the end of a labyrinthine...
What a
The makeshift
shame.
conduit snaking through the city led to this macabre scene. You were hoping to find Vane here, but the lab is abandoned. A body lies in state, surrounded by medical equipment and less identifiable machinery, his torso riddled with corroded wires. While the madman has found some success in creating new horrors, no amount of electricity will bring this boy back from the dead.
Then let's
As you
unplug
unplug the
him.
machines, you notice some notes on the patient. My son, Marsden Vane, age 21, dead from intoxication. The professor was attempting to revive his own son and abandoned the project. At least with the machines off, the son's departed soul will have some comfort.
Is this so?
A Roma woman. It's crossed.
Jeez. I do have the gold, so
The infamous professor looks more like a vagabond than a man of science. Too late, he crows, skipping from one unidentifiable apparatus to another.
You're too late to stop me now. It was the glow of the Chaos Moon. You see, it changes everything it touches. Once it fell upon my children, they all came to life.
If reason ever graced his rolling eyes, it's long gone now.
let's smash one of his glass tanks.
The madman shrieks in horror as one of his children flops onto the floor with a wet slap. It does seem to harbour a kind of life, spasming briefly before it expires in a pool of chemicals. The professor rushes forward, slipping in the slime and cracking his head. The man's gone barking mad now. You must fight him to the death.
Draw 2. What do we have here? No, this is a lot of.
Vane will no longer conduct his dark experiments. Yet, in the aftermath of the destructive battle, you see a hulking specimen break free of a glass capsule and leap from a small window into the night. The horror, it seems, shall continue.
Yeah, then let's do the Withering Woods too. Then we did every mission basically. Fly. No, this time we didn't get so lucky.
A family in Epping Wake believes their daughter has been replaced by a changeling. They say the young girl in their house is in fact one of the Fae. Her laughter uncanny, her gaze still and unnerving. She speaks no more, but only titters madly. You offer to search for their child in the woods.
Elite fight. Increased travel deck. Electric damage.
A Roma woman sits cross-legged before a small campfire along the roadside. Though she is old, her eyes are quick and bright.
Replace all cards. I don't really like any of these. Maybe the defense one.
The overgrown remains of a logging camp. A deep hush pervades the tumbled.
All debuffs. Aesthetic. Vanguard. Oh. More ability points. Means better chance to kill all enemies in the first turn.
You stop to rest by an oak tree, and your sleep is disturbed by a vision. You stand before a stone table, upon which rest 3 swaddled infants. One is blanketed in white linen with a lilac pattern. The second is wrapped in muslin with bluebirds. The third is swaddled in green cloth, embroidered with tiny shepherds. Black water is rising at your feet, and you know you must choose one of them to save.
Yes, then we save the one with the legs.
You reach for the bundle with the lilac pattern, before the rising water swallows everything in sight. Upon waking, you realize there's nothing in your hands. Suddenly, a branch breaks behind you, and a young girl emerges from the woods. Without a word, she hands you a gift, and you offer to help her find her way home.
Yeah, but we don't. Lesser card option.
You return the girl to her parents. As you enter the home, the thing masquerading as their daughter confronts you. With a face disfigured and pale, it declares,
You wretched people have only doomed yourselves.
The family cowers and awaits your decision.
Attack the monster.
Swiping at the creature, it dodges and bolts away from the house, screaming out a warning before fading into the woods. You sense there's something to the changeling's warning, but tell yourself to accept that some things remain a mystery.
-2 max.
With the changeling banished, the family is happy to be reunited. The girl flashes an odd smile and waves goodbye as you take your...
Tarot cards. Overdrive. No, this makes it cheaper. This is
Unidentified
good.
floral growths have seemingly sprouted up overnight near Rupert's Hollow, the site of an old logging clear-cut. The ragged stumps and rotted logs are now riddled with the shimmering pods.
Merchant too early, I would say.
The overgrown remains of a logging...
Whisper.
A Roma woman sits cross-legged before a small campfire along the roadside. Though she is old, her eyes are quick and bright.
Maniki Neko. Why not?
At the edge of the woods, you come upon a faded, ivy-choked manor. The eccentric scholar, Dr. Crowthorne, invites you inside.
No, we do want to keep our specimen jar.
A deep hush pervades the tumbled...
But it looks all consumable. No. debuffs to all enemies. Sounds pretty nice.
A low, even sound seems to rise from the ground beneath your feet. Casting about for the source, you realize it comes from the flowers. Somehow they are humming in unnatural unison.
Cover
You block out
here.
the song, but it still leaves your head spinning. As you stumble past, you find something half buried in the dirt.
Werewolf. Consumable slot. Electric one.
The pods all sprout from a web of thick purple vines. Following the vines, you discover that they all lead deeper into the forest, as if the pods were the nodes of some unholy nexus.
Burn
The
the
fire
vine.
spreads rapidly, consuming the pods which burst like popped corn. One by one, bodies, human bodies, burst from the conflagration like seeds and thump to the ground. The sight and smell are seared in your memory.
-5.
Letting out a scream that eerily echoes the kind made by humans, the massively oversized plant crumbles to the ground. Its vines shrivel up as they let out toxic fumes that mildly fog the nighttime they shall no longer haunt. A small comfort gained in a world that remains awash with terrors.
And let's sit on the bonfire and heal. Make you cheaper. Or draw card.
A ghostly figure is stalking the Epping forest paths. The locals are terrified, evoking ancient tales of Herne the Hunter and the Wild Hunt. Myth or menace, it's your duty to investigate.
Static Overlord.
At the edge of the woods, you come upon a faded, ivy.
Still cost, not yes, reduce cost by the merchant.
Oversized mushrooms and thorny undergrowth make way for a lantern-lit fork in the road. You have no idea which path to take, nor the horrors that may await you.
Go left.
This path has fewer mushrooms, but further on, fewer lanterns as well. The darkness makes you doubt your decision. Eventually, you return to the main forest path, but the toll on your mind is unmistakable.
Against static. Maybe I should have waited. Victor electricity. No healing. For me anymore.
This barn has faded to a uniform grey. A deep hush pervades the tumble down. A Roma woman sits cross-legged before it.
This is useless as long as we cannot heal. There. Draw. And upgraded one card.
You come upon a pile of skulls, stacked up like a high stone cairn. The mist thins and a figure is revealed. He carries an axe made of bone, a stag's skull atop his shoulders in place of a man's head, its eyes aglow with hellfire. Hearn the hunter is here, and you are his prey.
Yeah, this we won't first see.
Instead of fleeing as the monster might expect, you stand your ground.
Who is hunted prey?
With your newfound resolve.
Because I'm pretty sure he will be my prey. You... I cannot defend you. Oh, what is this? Zero cost, buy one ability and draw one card. What
The
do we
phantom
want
hunter
more?
disappears, leaving behind only rags and the decaying stag skull. You smash the skull and burn the rags, praying that his presence has been banished for good.
Duct the whistle. Three times and 4 debuffs is better
Dark
than
road
2.
cuts through the forest to Hangman's Hill, illuminated by the spectral glow of the whispering lichen. It seems to be spreading from here, and you strongly suspect you're close to discovering the source.
Defeat Old Tom.
A Roma woman sits cross-legged.
Skip.
A deep hush pervades the tumble. In a secluded hollow, you discover a small brick cottage. The windows are all boarded over, but a trickle of smoke rises from the chimney. A soft voice calls from behind the door. Don't look like you have the whisper yet. You shouldn't be here, it's not safe. Old Tom is watching.
Then let's ask
What
about
can you tell
Old
me about
Tom.
Old Tom? A weathered face appears at a crack in the window. Have you heard of Hangman's Hill? As the legend goes, Tom King was hanged for a highwayman ages back. He's been haunting the place ever since. Then what about the whisper, as you call it? I reckon it's down to that damned moon somehow. Anyway, I wish you luck. He steps back into the shadows.
Yeah, for more we don't have enough.
You follow the lichen's sickly glow up a steep and rocky path. Arriving at the top of Hangman's Hill, you find a sprawling oak tree with a rusty gibbet cage dangling from the sturdiest branch. Within is the corpse of Old Tom. He raises a bony finger towards you, and a malodorous wind rattles the tree.
Then let's
Corruption must be
battle
stopped
Old
at all
Tom.
costs. You stand your ground. Whatever happens, you mustn't let your guard down, lest you shed this mortal coil prematurely.
This is not my plan. Some you, a few bleed. Hell I have. Here's my electric ray.
The rusty cage crashes open, spilling the remains of Old Tom onto the ground. The whispering lichen's glow dims to nothing, and with its unholy source defeated, it begins to wither. Ridding the forest of this deadly curse should bring relief to the villagers nearby, but the moon's glow is stronger than ever.
But now it did every mission. Or using wood, dusk, flesh and steel. Arrow, yes. This is good to know. That's your ability. Tinkerer. That's why we can upgrade. On the bonfire sometimes. But then things here and stream wasn't too bad. 3 wins, remember correct. Then thanks for watching and good night. And let's the stream end.